Good morning and welcome back. So in today's video we want to learn how to cut a two-piece shirt and a trouser. So here I have the stripe fabric. Now the first thing I will do is to fold the button allowance area. So once I fold this allowance area, I make sure I iron out nicely, and then it must be stretched as shown. Then you iron out all through this point. Then make sure the folding area is 2 inches, because later on I will thread it back to 1.25 in the button allowance folding. So I iron out all through these points. I will make sure it's as straight as possible. Then after which I will now proceed to my measurements application. So when you are folding yours, fold 2 inches from that edge. Now bear in mind that the stripe must go from up to down, except on some rare cases where you might want to make the stripe to invert for design purposes, right? So after this now, this is what I will have. Then the next thing to do here is to bring my ruler, chalk and tape. Alright, so now once you have gotten your long ruler, then the next thing to do here is to mark out your baseline. So your baseline will be properly marked out. Then once you mark it out this way, now the next to do is to apply your shirt length. But let me first mark out the baseline. So the baseline is just to have a straight base at the hem area. You mark out your baseline from there, and then make sure it's visible enough. I hope you can see it. Yeah, it's visible. Then you apply the shirt length, which the shirt length I have is 33. Then you have to add extra 3 inches to it. So 2.5 or thereabout. So I'm adding 2.5. That's 35 and a half. So mark it twice in order to get exact of the length. So mark it twice this way, and then you join the line. You connect the line as shown in this form. So after this, the next to do now is to look for your armhole, your neckline, and every other thing. So for here, my chest I have is a chest line of 46 inches. Divided by 4 is 11.5. So you mark it there, and then add extra 2 inches to it. So if you're used to the senator marking, this method will also be okay for you. So apply the same measurements at the hem area. Now this particular shirt marking, the left side is my down, while the right is my up, as against our regular method of drafting the senator top. So connect the line straight in this form to get a block shape. Connect the line straight in this form to get a block shape. So when you have gotten this block shape, you now focus on the area which you have drafted out for your front panel. Then the next to do here is to mark my shoulder, which is 19, plus half, which is 10. So you mark 10 inches there. Shoulder is the by 2 plus half. After that, you now get the slope, which is 2.5 for the slope of the shirt measurement of the shoulder, right? Then slant it outrightly to the very end of the fabric in this form. Make sure it's slanted out straight up. Then after you must have drawn that line, the next to do is to get your armhole, so which we are going to use an armhole of 11 from the men's shirt length. Remember, we have removed 2.5, so from the balance of the armhole is now 9.5 or thereabout. Then from there, you tilt it to the chest, which is already marked, to the shoulder allowance, to the real chest, plus the extra 2 inches is outside. Then cross check the armhole again from there. So I have it to be at 9 inches as well from the slanted line. Then get the middle, which is 4.5. Then come in by 1 inch. Come in by 1 inch. Then use pattern master. You bring the pattern master and then place it in this form to get a curve that will cut across the 1.5 inch, the shoulder depth, the shoulder point, and the armhole depth. So once you have gotten this connection, you draw the chalk as shown. So once you draw the chalk as shown that way, now the next to do is to get your neckline. So which we are going to use the natural neckline of 2.5 inches width by 3 inches depth for a natural neckline. But bear in mind that my neck is 17.5. So if you divide it by 6, you will have a value. Then connect as shown. Connect as shown. Then you're done with that. Then let's now cut. Alright, so now we are cutting. Make sure as well you follow the lines you have drafted. Cut the necklines as shown. Bear in mind that the button allowance is yet to be folded, which I'll also show you guys how to fold it. So I would prefer you use my same method of drafting. So when you have an issue, I will know how to handle it right. Because if you ask questions that doesn't pertain to my pattern of drafting, it will be difficult for me to understand what could be the cause or how to handle the situation. So once you have followed my pattern and drop your questions, I will be able to answer. And also make sure that you watch this video closely to understand it deeply, because the explanations is just straight to the point. There is no much drama, and the method I'm using is very simple and nice. So just follow the procedures I have shown in this video before you have any question. Watch it 2 or 3 times and then get back to me if you have any questions. So now the next thing to do here is to cut the back. You have seen how it's being cut. Then notch the neck area for the button allowance to know the center, and also notch the downside. Then fold it up this way. Then after this, you have to place this way for you to be able to draft the back panel from it. So you bring the back again and then join, do the placement. Alright, so now the next to do is to place this button allowance 1 inch off from the back center folding. 1 inch off, and then you are going to raise the back by 2.5 and 2.5 as well. So the back center placement could be 1 inch or half an inch, but I'm using half an inch. So I will also urge you to use half an inch so that you have enough allowance inside. So after that, you have to raise the back panel by 2.5 inches this way, and then raise it again as well by 2.5 as well. So connect the lines as shown, and then after which you connect the lines as shown this way, and then you make the armhole line to correspond with the back panel, and then mark the neck area as well. And then after that, the next to do is to mark the back neck depth of 1.5. So you mark it to be 1.5, and then do your curve connection there. Please don't make a mistake and cut it a block form. Make it to be curvy in that direction. So after that, the next to do here is to cut the shoulder area all through to this point. Cut the armhole area as well. Now, in most cases, you can decide to cut it 1 inch away from the front armhole, or you can still cut it to be together. So whichever one you are cutting, you can maintain the same pattern, right? Then also cut the down area to be 1 inch longer. Now this will make it to have the effects of neck balancing, because by the time you drag the back neck to come down, the front neck to come down, the back will jump by 1 inch. So I prefer making the 1 inch longer at the back shirt in order to make it lap. So after this, the next to do now is to fold the back panel to come to the front, and then you trim or synchronize the excesses on the neck region. Make sure that the neck width of the front and back are equal. The back should not be smaller, neither should the front be big as well. So once you have cross-checked the front neck, you also cross-check the back armhole area, making sure that the back armhole and the front armhole line are also corresponding in this direction. You trim off any excesses. Then after that, you are done with the front and back panel. Let us now cut the components, which are the sleeves, the facings, and possibly the pockets. try to stay tuned to the end of the video, because I will still make a video on how to draft the trouser with elastic waist and rope on the front. So you will like to enjoy this clip to the very end. Now we are trying to cut the sleeve. So the sleeve length I want to have here is 3/4 sleeve, right? But you can make yours to be short sleeve or long sleeve depending on your choice. So I chose to have a 3/4 sleeve. So the length I want is 14 sleeve length for my sleeve, then with extra 2.5 inches for my turn up or my folding. However, so mark extra 2.5 inch there. So 14 inches is the length, 14.5 inch, adding half to it for the joining on the shoulder, right? Then mark extra 2.5 for your turn up effect. So measure the total distance there, that's 17 in total, and then add it to the inside allowance, then mark it as well in this form. Then connect the lines outrightly from there, and then draw with your ruler. So this is the sleeve part. So after the sleeve part now, I'll also give you the video on how to do the facing, and then I will proceed with the last part of the video, which is the trouser drafting, and then we're going to see the next episode, which will be the stitching aspect of the whole tutorial. Then the round sleeve I have is 16 inches for my biceps, and then 14.5 for the tip of the sleeve. So from the inside arm, I'm coming down by 4.5 inch there, and then from there I will make a curve in this direction. So I have a video on how to draft a perfect sleeve, which you can still look up for on my channel. Then the round sleeve of my fist, of my elbow, is 14.5. Then add extra 2 inches or 1.5, depending on how you want it to be. So mark in this form, and then connect in this form as well. And then after which you now cut as well. So you cut out as well in this form, cut out as well in this form, cut as well in this form. Make sure it goes perfectly in this direction, right? Then after that, we are going to also do our back facing drafting. So you also do this in this direction, right? So after this now, the next to do is to call the back facing. So you look out for a part of the sleeve of the fabric that the stripe will be inverted. The stripe will no longer go from up to down. The stripe will go from sideways from the right to left. Is what's called positioning of fabric. So you need to know how to do this as well. Then fold it in this form and check if it will be enough for your back facing, and then take your back block and then you place it in this form as well. So once you get to this point, this is how it will look like. And then you make sure that the armhole of the back, the facing is 2 inches or 1.5 inch higher than the back armhole depth. Then make sure you hold it firmly, because vintage is a very silky and slippery fabric. It can alter your positioning if you don't know how to handle it properly. So you cut out in this form, cut out the shoulder area as well, and then cut the armhole. Then this type of vintage is better done straight line at the back. There will be no V or whatsoever. It's better done straight at the back. But if you seem otherwise or thought otherwise, you can still go ahead and do yours to be curvy if you so wish. So after that, the next thing to do is the folding and the gummy aspect, which will also come in this particular video.